We now have a real treat for all of you. It's with the global product head at Instagram. Instagram is taking on TikTok. This is the answer of Instagram for TikTok. 120 million active users have been looking for all kinds of platforms, and within 8 days, Instagram is here with the launch of Reels. It's a short video format, 15 seconds long, like TikTok. Like TikTok, Reels will also allow you to edit the videos. You can speed it up, slow it down, add lighting, add music, all of that. So what's unique about Reels? How does it fit into Instagram? These are some of the questions I asked Vishal Shah, who joined us all the way from San Francisco. But we also asked him other questions. How you can increase following, how you can become an influencer, how can brands engage better with their customers, when will the business tools be launched on Instagram? Here's an edited excerpt of that conversation.
Reels is a short form video product, as you mentioned, 15 seconds, edited video directly on Instagram. And we're seeing the rise of both video and short form video specifically on Instagram for many years now. In fact, in India, a third of posts on Instagram are actually videos, if you count feed posts and stories and everything that people are doing. And in fact, over half of the videos posted to feed are already 15 seconds or less. And so we're seeing people uploading this kind of content today as a way of expressing themselves, as a way of entertaining others. And what we see in Reels is a way for even the smallest creator, the new next generation of creator, to be discovered. On Instagram today, they could post photos, they can post videos and stories, they can post long form video in IGTV, but there hasn't been the opportunity to post a 15-second edited video that is comedic in nature, or a performance, or something that people are excited to share with the world. And we believe that Reels is an opportunity for all the Indian talent all over the country to express themselves.
There are 120 million active users on TikTok which are looking for other platforms. How best can they use Instagram and Instagram Reel? Don't forget, TikTok had its own stars, it had its own creators, and everyone used to say that the environment in TikTok is very different. Instagram is more niche, it's more premium. So are they going to feel at home at Instagram?
We believe that Instagram is definitely already appealing to a much broader group of Indians, not just to the niche kind of premium use case that I think many people believe. It already has broad appeal, I think, in its simplicity, in that people can share photos or videos very easily. I think what we're going to see with Reels is, one, it has a dedicated space inside of Instagram. So it's part of the Explore tab. There's a dedicated place there inside of Explore for people to access Reels. 50% of users on Instagram already use Explore. So it is a place people go to be entertained already, to watch video and to see interesting content. And so there's a natural place for this to exist. And what we did with Reels was we said, as people create this content, they can decide if they'd like to share it to their followers, to their audience. They can distribute it into feed or into stories in the way they do today. They can also just share it to Reels, and they don't have to share it to their followers. And I think this is the idea of creating a separate space, the idea of sharing maybe content that you wouldn't have shared on your regular grid or your regular profile, and it gives the opportunity for public accounts to be discovered in the way that we think that use case really deserves. So I think the average creator on Instagram also uses other tools, other platforms, and those that are stars on other platforms use Instagram. And I think the opportunity to bring these different formats together to allow someone to tell all the different sides of their personality, whether it's a musician showcasing their latest song, or a music video, or a short dance number, or a comedian who shows behind the scenes of their skits in stories, but now can put the actual performance inside of Reels or inside of IGTV. Having that all live in one ecosystem, I think, is going to be very powerful for the Indian creator set to really tell their story.
So with increased traffic for Instagram during the lockdown and COVID-19, I want to ask you a question on behalf of a lot of brands. What is the best way then for them to utilize Instagram to increase engagement? Because you've got higher traffic, you've got a higher proliferation of brands, and you do see a lot of, everyone's trying to look pretty, everyone is trying to, the target audience doesn't change in that sense, right? What's your advice to these brands? What's the best way to engage and use Instagram?
Well, the advice I give brands is actually very similar to the advice I give creators, which is, you have to use the platform. brands that simply think of Instagram as a marketing channel, and some do, and certainly that's an option. You can use the platform simply to advertise and to reach an audience that way. I think doesn't work as well on Instagram. For most people, when they see an ad on Instagram, the first thing they do is to click on the profile to see what that brand is all about, to learn about them from the things they've posted in the past. And so posting organically on Instagram is not just a way of reaching an audience and telling a story, but it is a way of building your brand presence. It's a way of, when people come to your brand profile, what do they come away with? What do they learn? What do they know about you? Why do you exist as a brand? What do you care about? What goes into your products? Why should people care? And it's this idea of humanizing the brand, of allowing the brand to tell that story. That means that they have to use the platform. They have to post to feed. They have to post to stories. They have to post longer form video to IGTV. This is the type of thing that consumers are looking for to build trust in that brand, to understand what that brand means. And then, of course, there are business-specific tools that we encourage brands to use, whether that's through advertising or through stories, or through some of our testing of our shopping and commerce features that we're starting to test more broadly in different parts of the world. So while there are business-centric tools that we encourage them to use, it is important for a brand to be part of that dialogue, to be part of that narrative, and to engage with their community and responding to comments, responding to DMs. This is an important part of how a brand builds their business and their community on a platform like ours.
So tell me something, will you ever review that decision that you can't sell on Instagram unless you have 10,000 followers? At least in the Indian market, would you ever review that decision?
So what you're referring to specifically is some of our limitations around on links in stories. And the reason we do that is because when someone can post a link, it means that the reason for posting is to drive someone to something else. That sort of the incentive for why you post is not just about expressing a thought or a feeling or something that you want to say, but to drive traffic somewhere else. And while we think that is a valuable use case for many businesses and large organizations around the world, we think it's less valuable and important for the individual on Instagram, who we believe the most important use case is about sharing and expression. It's one of the reasons we don't allow links in feed. And that's a decision that we've made quite some time ago, and we will continue to stand behind, because again, it changes the reasons and incentives to post. Now, what we are doing is, as we're rolling out and testing some of our new shopping and commerce features that allow people to link to products that they have to sell directly from inside the app, we are exposing and expanding that access to businesses of all sizes, no matter how many followers or how big they are. And so I think that what we see there is the opportunity for people to have a trusted experience, because they know it is on Instagram. It's been verified, embedded through our integrity policies on commerce and shopping, but to ensure that then people, when they come across content that they're inspired by, whether it's a product shot or a behind the scenes shot, they can easily get access to that product. So I'm excited to bring some of those shopping and commerce features in the future to all markets around the world. We're testing them now, but that's the opportunity we see from a product perspective specifically.
Okay, that's going to be a big one, and it kind of preempts my next question. So, that's going to be a pretty cool feature, especially for the young brands and the young guys who are on Instagram, starting out, looking at Instagram as their primary marketing tool, or one of the big marketing tools. What they're also looking forward to is Instagram introducing all the business tools in the Indian market. Any update on that, when we will be up to speed with that and with the rest of the world?
Well, we're testing this around the world, and we're testing different opportunities, whether that's being able to buy directly on Instagram, linking to these specific products. We're testing, for example, live shopping right now in different markets, where people, when they go live, can actually directly link to a product and it can be purchased directly inside of the app. We're looking at ways for products to be more explicitly a part of stories and a part of feed. So I think there's a lot of really interesting opportunities for brands to tell their story. And to your point, a lot of businesses that we see weren't even necessarily setting out to build a business in the first place. It was a hobby or something they were doing, in their spare time, and they were building, this following on Instagram, and they were able to turn that passion then into a living and turn that hobby into a business. And I think the opportunity there for these native Instagram accounts that really found a home on Instagram and then turn that into a business is something we're incredibly excited about. Now, No specific timeline updates in terms of when we're going to be able to bring that to different markets in the world as we continue to test. We're testing a variety of products, Reels now included. But I am personally very committed and bullish about the overall shopping opportunity. And I think that's going to be big, not just in India, but around the world.
And what about the entertainment opportunity? We all saw so much entertainment on Instagram. Like, I'm a crazy tennis buff. A display picture on WhatsApp is with Roger Federer. Loved all his live videos. Djokovic tried to copy him. But sports and entertainment, I mean, I think that's proof to Instagram they can play a big role. Any new big features that we're going to see?
We really do believe the future of entertainment is in short form content. It's why we are investing in things like Reels. We've already had some of the other forms of entertainment on Instagram, whether that was feed video that could go up to a minute long, or longer form stories, or longer form content that people can see with IGTV and with Live. So I think to the point I was making earlier, I really do believe that the future is about these individual creators. It's not about the biggest media organizations in the world. It's about that creative storytelling that the individual has. So much literature has talked about opportunities for people to, talented people sometimes not having the opportunity for that talent to be discovered. And the democratization of creative storytelling, the ability to find a global audience no matter where you are in the world, and to have your unique point of view is something that is so new and so powerful. And I think we really haven't even seen what that means for entertainment, for the ability for an individual to become famous. It's just really getting started. And I'm incredibly excited about Instagram's role in that. To be able to create the next generation of creators and stars, and to give people a new form of entertainment in a way that hasn't really been possible when all we had was a few channels on television, even just a few decades ago.